keep the place neat and tidy.
Yeah, well done.
All right, welcome all to the November meeting for the Toyota Land Cruiser Club. Sadly, even though we've beaten the worst of COVID for now, it still appears that our return to face-to-face meetings may be delayed a little bit further, but we'll keep you posted on that. We were hoping for a December meeting, but it looks like even with all the restrictions that might be put upon us, that might be very difficult. Anyway, so I'd like to declare this meeting open and welcome everybody that's here tonight. It is absolutely fabulous, however, to see some events taking place, and those include driver training and, of course, some educational events. We also had the opening of the new building at Yark, and I'll let Liz perhaps tell us a little bit about the name, so I'll leave that up to you, Liz. But I'd just like to thank Toyota Motor Corporation Australia for giving us or loaning us, it'd be nice if they give it to us, they loaned us a new LC300 Land Cruiser, which was really good for us to have a look at. Perhaps I would have liked to see a slightly cheaper one, I should say, but anyway, it was certainly a bit of an eye-opener. Some positive and negative comments, but certainly looks to be pretty bulletproof from what I could see. Also, I was very lucky. Matt Lilly took me for a little bit of a drive around the property. Went down Latimers. It was interesting to see how all the new electronics work on these machines. Very, very interesting indeed. We also had ARB there, and we had Red Arc, we had Navigator, and golly, I always hate naming names in case I miss a couple, but I'm sure Liz will fill me in if there were any. The Lifeblood Challenge, there's been a thing put out by Four Wheel Drive Victoria. What it is, it's an event that's being put on or organised by obviously through the Red Cross. What you do is you go and donate blood. There's a process that came through from Four Wheel Drive Vic, and what you do is, first of all, you obviously make sure you can donate blood, and then if you can, you make an appointment, go in and do it. And when you do, there's a place where you go and log the fact that you've attended. But we'd like our club to be part of it, and as a committee, we were wondering whether we might be able to find a blood champion, somebody who perhaps, well, whether you can give blood or not doesn't matter, but somebody who might be prepared to talk about or coordinate us getting involved in that group and a bit of competition with the other clubs. I think it'd be really good. So if somebody would like to put their hand up for that, please do. You can either pop it in Q&A down below, or you can give any one of the committee members a ring and just show your interest, and hopefully we'll get you on board to help out with making it happen. A little reminder about some shows. So we've got the Geelong show coming up on the 21st to the 23rd of January next year. We've got the Melbourne Outdoor Four-Wheel Drive show on the Melbourne Outdoor show on the 18th to the 20th of February next year. We've also got the Mornington show on the 10th to the 13th of March 2022. And we've got the National 4x4 show being held on the 19th to the 21st of August next year. So we've got January, February, March and August. So we're certainly going to have 3 very busy months, the first 3 months of next year. Now, obviously, we're going to be looking for volunteers for that. So if anybody's available, and remember, this is a really good opportunity for new members or for members who perhaps don't know too many people in the club, or perhaps you want to be around a few other people and associate. But don't forget, one other big advantage is you actually usually get free entry as well. So you'll have a break, you can go and do your little stint on the stand and then wander off and spend all your money, or have a look anyway. What we're going to do is throughout this meeting, we're actually going to have a few little side steps back, and then we're going to bring Tony Bryant on the screen now. Hello, Tony.
Good evening, all. Ian?
Yeah, thanks, mate. So, I like your background. That's a new one.
Well, I just had another one behind me with a tail of a whale, but it looked like Yoda with the tail sticking out of my ears. So I thought I'd better change it. So
this one looks like your head might be exploding.
Yeah, I think I need another one actually.
So, Tony, you're going to help us tonight with Q&A. Obviously, it's quite busy for me running the meeting, and I want to make sure that we deal with all members' comments, questions, etc. So over to you. What's come up so far?
We have had a couple on already, which is great. Dave Mitchell has raised a point which is very good. People not going on trips who maybe not or could not remember their convoy procedures, and he's trying to find some documentation as to convoy procedures and the like. So it's a good suggestion. So we'll need to flick that across to Chris Treble from DA to put a document together, and we'll publish that on the web. So it's there as a bit of a tuition sort of thing. And Eamon King has got a camper for sale. So Southern Cross quality campers and the likes for 5,000. So he's even got his phone number there. So have a look at that, guys, or ladies and gentlemen, and see if you're interested in a camper and make contact with Eamon. So that's pretty much it at this stage.
Do you want to read out maybe what's involved with the camper?
I can do.
Yeah, I think so. It might be
Used
good.
only once. No, it's not quite. Annex with side walls, drifter kitchen with 3-burner stove, military wrap eye-to-eye leaf springs, 6 stud Land Cruiser wheels, 750 by 16, a 60-litre water tank, Treg coupling. So it sounds like a good unit, $5,000. So
Excellent.
Eamon's phone number's there. We won't read it out. And yeah, speak to Eamon if you're interested.
Excellent. All right.
That's it.
Tony,
back to
thanks
you.
for now. We'll come back to you later on in the meeting. Okay, so we've got a guest speaker joining us tonight, and we've got Glenn McVeigh from Battery World joining us. But before he does, we've got a quick video that we're going to show just before that, and so over to the video.
Now we turn to the Australian bush, where we find our native honey badger. If we watch carefully, we can see how, by using tools, the honey badger has evolved to survive the Australian summer. Such a remarkable display of ingenuity. And now at last, the male can relax and enjoy the fruits of his labour.
Jumpstart your holidays with Battery World. And never corner a honey badger. Here we go.
Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Sandra, for talking me into doing this. But yeah, for some people, you might know me. I've been around the Land Cruiser Club dealing with customers and been up on cruiser carners for the last probably 10 years. But yeah, the main reason tonight would be to talk about some lithium batteries. People are saying lithium's the way to go. It's the latest things out. There's pros and cons to lithium. The main thing is to think, well, if I need to cut down on my weight in a caravan, camper, in a vehicle, lithium is definitely the way to go, being nearly half the weight of a lead equivalent. Also, you know, in comparisons to lithium amp hours to amp hours in lead batteries, you know, a lot of the time you've got 25 to 30% more amp hours in a lithium battery. The main things that we find coming up with lithium is people wanting to change from their lead batteries to lithium, and they might have an older vehicle, older caravan, older camper that is set up with AGM chargers, AGM DC-DC chargers, they might be charging through the vehicle. So those things change with lithium. You need a specific charger that is capable of charging lithium batteries, also solar regulators, and so forth. So it can be a big expense, apart from the battery, is to go to everything to change over to be able to look after that battery. The biggest problem that we're finding now is that there's a certain amount of people out there who, when they go away, they take the house with them. So they want to run coffee machines and so forth, and take a few of the luxuries away that they leave at home. So the biggest problem we're finding is that someone will come in and want a 100 amp hour battery, and they've got a 2000 watt inverter. Unfortunately, when you're looking at lithium batteries, you have to take into account what your usage is going to be and what the amp draw is going to be. With a 100 amp hour battery, most of them won't go any further than 100 amps. Now, 100 amps is a 1000 watt inverter. In most cases, especially in the Land Cruiser Club cases, that's probably not too bad. But in people who take away caravans and go for a longer period of time, it could be a problem. Now, all lithium batteries have a BMS, which is a battery management system, in them to look after the lithium cell. Lithium cells are very volatile. There has been known cases of fires around and so forth. But with the newer lithium batteries coming out and the BMS being there, a lot of the time they're reasonably safe. But the worst thing that could happen is you have a 2000 watt inverter on a maximum draw of 100 amp battery, and all of a sudden it cuts out the BMS, so that all of a sudden it goes to 0 volts. Now, there's ways of getting that back, but it's a little bit involved by hooking up jumper leads from a very good battery for a certain amount of time. If you've got the correct chargers, like the EnerDrive charger has a reset button, so you can go into that and it will bring the BMS back to life. You then start charging it normally. But just be careful in what you're buying. Sometimes I've seen the inside of certain batteries that are bought off the internet at ridiculous prices. When you open them up, they're sometimes filled with wall tiles and things like that, just to make them feel a little bit heavier. Majority of the time, the lithium battery is in a 100 amp hour case, but the battery itself is only about 40 amp hours. They shove a few more tiles in there and make it a little bit heavier to make it feel like 100 amp hour. At Battery World, we are not allowed to sell anything that's not been tested by Century USA. So Century USA, who don't even produce a lithium battery, but are our franchisors technically, will test all the batteries, making sure that they're got all the safety procedures and everything correct. So it's even that important that the last thing was selling a lithium battery that wasn't approved by Century USA could cost people their franchises. So they take it very seriously. So the brands that we sell are EnerDrive, which is well known around the four-wheel drive caravanning industry. Hardcore has just been taken on, very reasonably priced, the Hardcore. Also, there's a Pylon Tech, which is very big in the home lithium package, but they also do an RV 100 battery, which is 100 amp hour, and also dry power, have a few different sizes as well. So they're the ones that we're allowed to sell in the store, and we sell are starting to sell a large range of them. Enerdrive always have had a quality product. They have their chargers that will bring back to life lithium batteries. Their G2 batteries in 125 and 200 and 300 amp hours do have that reset button as well. So you can feel pretty safe. They do have all Bluetooth on those ones. So you don't need to fork out on a quality battery monitor or anything, because you can actually do it on your phone. It'll tell you what voltage is in individual cells, what amp draw has been taken in or put in. So they're quite good. Their budget one in the 100 amp hour doesn't have the Bluetooth, but is well priced under that $1,000 mark. It's one of those things that I'm probably still saying, unless you need to lose the weight, lead is still a cheaper alternative. Lithium has more cycles and so forth, but if you're wanting to run a large inverter and so forth, lead is still the better product. A good AGM battery in 100 amp hour will cost you from $320 up to $400, where with a lithium, a good quality 100 amp hour is costing you from $800 up to $1,100. So you have to work out, well, how long am I keeping the vehicle? Will I still have it in 5 years' time? Replacing the battery, you can replace it 2.5 times to the cost of a lithium. So work out what you've got out of your AGM. Most people are getting between 4 and 7 years out of an AGM. You might get between 5 and 10 years out of a lithium. But yeah, will you still have the same vehicle in 10 years' time is what I'm basically saying to a lot of people. As much as I say that, I'm stocking a lot more lithium, so my expenses are up higher because no one gives you the stock. But yeah, if anyone wants to come in, talk to us, have a look, pick them up, see what we've got. Is a great one at the moment where you've got the 100 amp hour in the Enerdrive. That's a slim line. Sold quite a few where people are putting them in behind their fridges with the cargo barrier and so forth. So it makes it handy to have it there. But yeah, as well as that, naturally, if anyone's been in any of the battery worlds, you'll know that we've got all the solar, the DC chargers, the AC chargers, everything that you need to put it in your vehicles. And we're more than willing to help. I had a gentleman in today and he took away all the cables and so forth because he wanted to play around with his Prado himself. But as he left, I said, look, if you're not confident, bring it back and we can check it before you connect to the positive and make sure that you've done everything correctly. So yeah, hopefully that helps you a little bit in lithium, but it is the thing at the flavour of the month at the moment, because it's the newest thing out. So thanks for listening to me tonight. But yeah, surely you're all welcome at my store, and any of the other Battery World stores would be helpful as well.
So Glenn, thank you. Which store are you based at?
I've got Lilydale store.
Right. And what's the address of the Lilydale store?
That's 43 Cave Hill Road in Lilydale.
Excellent.
So just before the train lines.
Excellent. And we got a few questions for you that have come in. So first one I think is more of a statement, but perhaps you might want to comment. It's from Kim, and she says, I use a ResMed Air Mini CPAP machine, so the change to lithium for me is a must. Yeah,
look, in weight-wise, yes, and also in a situation where a 100 amp hour battery might get you a couple of nights on the CPAP machine, but the quick charge is also another thing that I forgot to mention, that lithium will accept a very fast charge. So as much as the discharge might be 50 amps, but the charge itself can be at 50 amps also. So using a 40 amp DC to DC charger isn't a problem at all with as small as a 100 amp hour battery. It will handle it, and it will charge up a lot quicker. Yes, lithium can be an advantage there, especially if you're moving it around in a campsite or whether you've got it permanently mounted, but the charge rate will help. Okay.
We got a question from David Mitchell. Question for you: key tips for maintenance of batteries, AGM or lithium. Is it okay to leave them on charge?
Look, lithium, on the correct charger should be fine. AGMs, as long as it's on a quality maintenance type charger, I wouldn't leave it on something like a Jayco that most of the time is a power supply charger. But yeah, a quality charger isn't a problem. With my van, I had, I just left it on charge the whole time because I trusted the charger. I saw what it went to in float. But lithium is, if you're 100% sure there's no drain on the van itself, lithium will stay charged for 6 to 12 months without a problem. So if you're a regular user of it, I probably wouldn't even bother putting it on a maintenance charger, as long as you've got a switch or something that will turn everything off. But AGMs, you'll always 3 months. Rule of thumb, what I usually say to people is, if you're not sure on your charger, every time you get your electricity bill in, if it's quarterly, go and flick your charger on, leave it on for 48 hours. That's probably the best way, because a battery staying on charge. I had a small motorbike battery today come in, and AGM battery, and it had basically dried out because the charger just didn't go into the correct float model. So it can happen that leaving on charge constantly can dry out the AGM, and then that's just like having a battery without having any acid in it.
So Glenn, taking that question to the next level, which is something I'm asking. So I've got a new 8-step charger, which goes through all the different cycles. But the question that I want to ask is it appropriate to, do you have to disconnect the battery from the car, from the vehicle, like at least remove the positive connection prior to charging? Because the manual seems to indicate that it's fine to leave them on.
No, that's fine. because what you've got to remember is that your alternator will reach charging points of 14.5 volts. Fair enough, most Toyotas got temperature sense alternator, so once the engine warms up, very rarely they go above 13.5. But all the electrics in a vehicle can handle being charged up in that mid-14 range. So there's no reason to disconnect your battery. The only time that you find that you have problems, and it's usually associated with caravans, is people leave it plugged in. They might leave their fridge on. They might leave something else on. So what happens is the battery charger will all of a sudden go into float mode, and then your fridge cuts in. Your fridge cuts in, it takes away 5 amps at the start, works its way down to 4 amps. Well, the first thing that the battery charger does is it kicks in again because it's been taken down. So you find that a lot of batteries will just keep charging, or a lot of chargers will charge the batteries and cause a problem there where the battery might swell up and so forth. So that's why it's important to make sure that everything's off, but definitely on a vehicle, if you lock the door, just got your bonnet up, put the charger on, it shouldn't have a problem at all.
Right. And we've got a final question from Tony Middleditch regarding lithium and AGM batteries, under bonnet mounting and heat, ? Also, weight of AGM and the rated weight capacity of your auxiliary battery housing. So
yeah, look, that's the thing that we find a little bit, because certain brackets that are manufactured for Prados, for instance, will turn around and say that they can't have a maximum of 25 kilos on that bracket. Now, they make the bracket or the tray in a 300 millimeter long tray. Now, that's a 100 amp hour battery. So a lot of people will put a 100 amp hour battery in there, and that's 5 kilos higher, or roughly 5 kilos higher than what that 25 kilogram weight problem is. Now, I recall years and years ago on the earlier Prados where there was a perfectly good spot on the left-hand side of the vehicle, on the driver's side of the vehicle, that you could put a tray in, put a battery in, put a clamp on, and off you go. But there was no strength under that inner guard, and it was quite common that would start cracking all the way along, and at worst case scenario, the battery would fall out, collect the front wheel, the wheel would roll it out, pull all the wiring out, and then they went to put a claim in at the insurance, and the insurance wouldn't claim it because it had been overloaded. Now, they have reinforced the firewalls and the inner guards, but if you look at most trays in the fine print, it says do not use more than a 25 kilo battery. Now, going to the other side of things, by putting lithium under the bonnet, none of the lithium people that manufacture or distribute lithium batteries warrant their batteries under the bonnet of the vehicle. So you're a little bit stuck there as well. We haven't trialed it to see what the problem is, but look, we have the same problem with AGM batteries under bonnets. We put an AGM battery under Gary Cooper's car many years ago as a trial, just to see how it went. And I think Gary got about 4 or 5 years of that. There's no swelling in it or anything like that. Went on a trip, came through the top part of Queensland, and he rang me and he said this battery's not performing or anything like that. So I organised with the guys up in one of the Queensland stores to put the same battery back in because he'd had an excellent run out of it. But within probably 6 months after that, it started to swell. So as much as you get one battery that might perform okay, you can get a battery next time and next minute it's swelling up. So that's why a lot of people do not warrant their AGM batteries, let alone their lithium batteries, under the bonnet. So it'd be great if they did, because that would utilise, and even on a 200 series where you've got a third battery area that is only small, and you can fit an Optima in there that's only got 45, 50 amp hours in it. You could put a lithium battery in there that might be 60 amp hours lithium, but that would equate to nearly 100 amp hours in lead. But it's a thing of someone has to probably take a punt on it. But yeah, I'm not willing to put it in myself, put it that way.
Okay. Well, Glenn, thank you. That's all the questions we've got at the moment. But if there's any more and you're still on, we might direct them to you. But
No
otherwise, I'd like to thank you for your support that you've given to our club as well. And thank you for coming along and talking tonight. I've certainly learned something, and I'm sure others have too. And again, the address of your store is
43 Cave Hill Road, Lilydale.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much, Glenn. And I hope you see some members of TLCCV knocking on your door.
Okay,
All right,
thanks.
thank you.
Jumpstart your holidays with Battery World and never corner a honey badger. Here we go.
All right, so with that, we'll now move on. We've got a video next coming up, and this is from the Madigan line, the Sand and Dust Tour, North Simpson Desert. This is part 1, and this particular video was edited by Steve McAdam.
Say hello, Marshall.
Hello, Marshall.
All right, we'll go to Rob. Go, Rob. There you go. Thank you. That's on film.
So good morning.
Good morning,
Gee,
mate.
that's a bit bright, that sun. Jesus, bloody bright, that sun. That's gorgeous. There's enthusiasm here.
There is.
I feel a lot better today.
That's
Not really,
okay. So
that doesn't count.
drunk number 1,
It was more sleep than
drunk number 2,
You were deep sleeping.
drunk number
I fell
3,
asleep because I was tired.
and I'm completely innocent.
Hello, darling. Charlie's moving.
Plenty of grids, plenty of dips, plenty of dust, plenty of dirt. Not much in the way of critters. And this is exactly where we camped last time. I have never seen this much water.
Honey badger.
Morning, Sergeant.
Morning.
Where's the flag? Flag's gone.
The flag's there, the two people on that right-hand side.
And in places quite slow, but it's taken him an hour to get out of Mount Dare to this point this morning. No, you can take me going through, guys.
So what a great video that was. Always good to see some of the central part of Australia. So the next thing is we're going to move on to questions and answers again. And I'd just like to bring on Tony. Hello, Tony.
G'day, Ian. I'll tell you what, that video, I must say, was absolutely fantastic. We were supposed to be doing The Simpsons this year and also the Canning last year. We've had to cancel both of them because of COVID. So it really made me envious seeing some of those shots. So fantastic.
I see you changed your background again.
Yeah, I changed it again. I thought it might look better rather than my head exploding. Apart from the couple that we've already addressed with Glenn, we had a question from Ken just as Glenn signed off, basically asking whether the lithium battery can be mounted on its end in the back of a vehicle. And I'm not qualified to answer that, so maybe we'll have to take that on notice and ask Glenn. I think it can be, from what I understand. If there's anyone out there who may be able to offer some advice, but if not, we'll have to put it to Glenn and come back to Ken then.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. But bear in mind, look, Glenn's only a phone call away. Battery World Bluedale, sure he'd be happy to answer that. Yep,
and that's all we've got at this stage. So it's
there was another one from Mike Burke asking. Let me see. Calcium batteries.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do that one?
It says, hi Glenn, are calcium batteries still available for under bonnet? I have one under my bonnet on the Prado for the last 3 years. Seems to be going well. How do calcium compare to an AGM? So again, unfortunately, we don't have Glenn here to answer that. So
there's an interesting comment though he made about lithium batteries and particularly AGMs. Not being put under bonnet as well. I mean, I've got 2 under my bonnet, and in fact, I've got 3 cars with AGMs under the bonnet. So
I think most have done that, but I've heard that definitely the lithium shouldn't be going under bonnet because of the heat. So, so Mike, unfortunately, we can't answer that, and he's not here to ask. So, whether you wish to give an answer, well, get an answer, give him a call.
Yep, might be the best thing. Anything else up there?
And that's all we've got at this stage, mate.
All right, so we'll keep going with the meeting. Thanks, Tony. All right, so now we'll go over to subcommittee reports. And first off, cab off the rank is driver training. Chris Treble. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Ian. How are you? Thank you.
Good.
Yeah,
welcome aboard tonight. Over to you.
Thanks, kindly. Good evening, everyone. We're at the pointy end of the season where we're, like to say, we're winding down. I don't know when we actually started to wind up, but anyway, a couple of weeks ago, we had about 9 people go through the driver awareness training up at the Arc, which was good. There's a few trees down in parts of the property, but anyway, my chainsaw wasn't working to enable me to cut them up and move them out of the way, so we just had to avoid those tracks as such. But we're going back up again on the 27th and is it the 27th and 28th November. At this stage, we've got about 15 potential people coming up to do the course. That's the last course we're going to run for the year. However, we are going to run another theory session in early November, and we're planning, I've probably got about 10 or 12 people booked in to attend towards the end of January. We're going to run a course in January to try and catch up on the COVID area, but a lot of the people that couldn't turn up a couple of weeks ago, a lot of them moved over into the new year, so we've got some heavy bookings in January and February so far. So, but we're nearly back on track with. We've just got a few more to catch up on, but we're getting well and truly back on track. So, which is really good. For a change, good news. So, other than that, I don't think there's anything else. So we're back up on the 27th and 28th of November for the last session for the year. That's about it. Thank you, Ian.
Chris, just one thing, the DA theories in December is not November, it's actually the first week in December.
December, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you said November, yeah.
Oh, anyway. Sorry, yeah. Good point, thank you.
Just more proof that the year is running away, right?
Well, I set them up for Chris on the website, so I knew the dates. Sorry to pick you up.
That's all right, that's fine. And listen, I probably should let everyone know also, moving it on to online. So if you want to do, if you haven't attended and had the opportunity to do your theory, by all means, come and book online. There's only a couple of sessions that are up there at the moment that you can actually come in online, like book a driver if you wanted to do a trip. It's a similar, we're trialing using the website to do it. So by all means, come in there. So you'll need to do the theory first, and then you'll be able to join up and do the practical course later on. But the theory session for, as Laurie just said, for December is up there. If you wanted to attend and do your theory in December, by all means, just jump online and register online, and I'll get the application. I'll come back to you. More than happy to take as many as we can get on to do their theory for a start, at least.
Fabulous. Fabulous, Chris. Sorry I called you Glenn before. I meant to call you Chris.
Right, Joe.
That's all right. You know what they say, call me anything you like, just don't call me late for dinner. All right, so, all right, that's glad to hear things are starting to rock along over in the DA and the driver training camp, which is really good. Thanks, Chris, well done. And the next one we've got on the agenda is education. Liz Mills, and I'm sure, Liz, you'll talk about the opening of our new building and tell everybody what the name is.
Yes, hi everybody, will do. I'll start off with a bit about the grand opening before education. Now, the grand opening day was fantastic. We were very lucky with the weather. We only had a couple of sessions of drizzle, which was great. So it was very kind to us. Now, Mpb is now the new name. 6 people suggested that we keep the Mpb name, and that's what the members voted on. So hereby known as Mpb. So there you go. It was just wonderful to see so many smiling faces the other day. Everybody was just so rapt to be together again. And I was rather hoping, a lot of people are hoping that we can get together in December somehow, because everybody was just so happy and it was lovely to see. I've got just a few thank yous here for everybody. Thank you to my husband, John, who through it all was a big help to me over the weekend, and as COVID Marshal did a great job. So thank you to him. Thank you to Grace and Gabby for all the catering and all their band of helpers. They put on a wonderful lunch. I think they catered for enough for a second helping, but with the first helping, I don't think anybody needed it. So thank you for that. That was just fantastic. Thank you to Chris Atkins, who was our official photographer. So I'm yet to see all the photographs from him, but I'm sure they will be great. A thank you to Peter Birchall, Gary Holt, and Eamon King for the last minute work they did in the building. They put up the new blinds, so they look really great now. Also to all the members who came and gave up their time and stood out in the cold to show their vehicles to everybody. We roped off a bit of an area in front of the Hilton to put all the vehicles, and I thought, oh gosh, we've got plenty of space here. I'd never think, we're going to fill that lot. Next minute I turned around and it was absolutely chock-a-block, and I thought, oh my goodness, where are we going to put them all? Anyway, we managed to get them in eventually. A huge thank you to ARB, Red Arc and Navigator for attending on that, what we thought was going to be a dreadful day, but as I said, was quite good. So, and they provided that many prizes to the members, so huge thank you to them, and I believe they're really keen to come to us again next year, so we'll work on that one. Okay, to education, just the four-wheel drive maintenance course, 4th, 5th December, chainsaw course 4th, 5th of December, tyre repair course 11th and 12th. They're all full at the moment, but put your name on the waiting list in case anything happens. Not for the chainsaw course though. I will be putting out an expression of interest as to who would like to do a chainsaw course. I had a query from somebody on Saturday, so I said I would do that, and I'll put something perhaps on Weekend Wrap as well, and perhaps Facebook. If we get enough numbers, maybe we can get another course going early on in the year. It just depends on how many people are keen to do that. First aid course is now online, so you can book into that. That is on the 5th and 6th of February, and James is going to run one at Yark this year, which is great, and also a CPR course on the 5th. That will just be for the morning only. So get your bookings in for that. There is a deposit on that. Photography course, again, 4th, 5th, 6th of March at Yark. I haven't got the advert up there yet, but that will come soon. Okay, now all the courses, I just better fill you in with this. All the courses now and events that are run at Yark, if they are double vaccinated, if you are intending to go up to the property while they're on, you have to check, because if they are double vaccinated, you will need to be double vaccinated to be on the property at the same time. This is a committee policy. If you arrive and you're not double vaccinated, you will need to leave the property. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is just at the moment. Things may change, but that is how it is now. So I think that's about all from me. So hand over to you, Ian.
Thanks for reinforcing those things about COVID. And as I said earlier in the meeting, it is a changing workplace. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on those, and things will change along the way. We must also thank Toyota Motor Corporation too, Liz, for the for allowing them loaning us a 300 series for the show as well. So thanks to them as well. But overall, great day. And for those of you who were sitting in Melbourne or somewhere else worrying about the weather, well, I got up there and let me tell you, two extremely light showers of rain. And I mean really light, like you wouldn't have even known it if you were standing in it. And honest to goodness, it was just a great day, and a lot of people there and extremely well run. So congratulations, Liz, and to our supporters, Toyota, Red Arc, ARB, and Navigator, etc. So well done to all, and to the organisers on the day, well done, and to the little kid there who cut the ribbon. Had a bit of a failure at the first attempt, but eventually got it. Anyway, so it was a great day. Well done. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to trip convener. Vivgard, over to you. Where are you? Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
I just was looking at somebody put your name down as Vic Gardner in the agenda here, and I went, no, that's not right.
I answer to anything, that's all right. At the moment, we've only got a couple of trips that have vacancies, or one's a trip, one's Dulcie's Jericho working bee in a week or so. So if you're looking to do something, you've got some spare time, she'd love to have you up there helping. Now things are getting out and about, people are getting around. I'd like to encourage all our trip leaders to start thinking about maybe running some trips. So all the new members that have just done their DA can put all their skills they've learned to good use and get out and about and meet some of our great club members and enjoy themselves. Baz and I ran a trip to Blue Rag just recently, and I want to thank all our participants who were so eager to show me their COVID digital certificates. And that's about it. We just need more trips being run, so please think about it, and don't forget when you advertise your trips, to put in you need people to be double vaccinated, if that's what you want, and then people will need to show you their COVID certificates when they come along. And that's it. Nothing else to report, unfortunately.
Well, thanks, Viv. I'm sure that more will be soon upcoming. Okay, well, now move on. TLCC West Australia 2022 gathering. John, hello, John. I saw you working extremely hard as that COVID officer up at the event on the weekend.
I was very tired. Okay, the West Australian thing, we've actually heard from them now, and they're confirming that it's actually 105 sites at the caravan park, plus another 50 sites that they got off-site, which are sort of reserve sites. So numbers shouldn't be a problem. At the present time, we've got 73 participants and 38 vehicles showing interest in coming. I've sent all those people today an email with a with a copy of the West Australian magazine, which has got some details there and some pictures of where we're going. I don't see there's a need for quotas with the number of campsites they've got. The venue that they're holding dinner will hold 240. So that's a pretty big turnout, I reckon, and I think we'll be all right. So if you're interested in going, put your name down. I'll keep you briefed on as I get more information. As I say, this is no obligation to go. It's just a matter of showing that you're interested to go. I'll keep WA informed of these numbers, and we'll see where we go from there.
Is that really 38 vehicles so far have expressed interest?
Well, the vehicles haven't, their owners have.
That's what I meant. So I think you said 73?
73 participants,
It's a lot
and
of people.
38 vehicles.
All right, glad to hear they've got a lot of space for us. So let's hope they follow through. Well done.
We've already got some folk getting together and looking at planning trips to go west. Obviously, you're not just going to go for the, well, I assume you're not going to go just for the gathering, but people are sort of working routes that they can take where they can pick up a bit more of Australia they haven't seen before. Excellent.
Well done. All right. Well, we'll hear from you again, no doubt, next month.
Well, if I have something to say, I'll be on you.
You can always come in and let everybody know anyway. Thanks, John. Appreciate your input.
Okay.
All right. So with that, we'll now move on to the Geelong report. Alison Williams, and straight after Alison, we're going to do another Q&A session. And yeah, so if you've got any items, put them up. Over to you, Alison. Welcome.
Thanks, Ian. Hello, everyone. We had a really interesting informal meeting this month. We had it at the multi-drive workshop, which was really interesting. Multi-drive's a Geelong company that's been around for over 30 years, and they do GVM upgrades, six-wheel drive conversions, and they make a true tracker, which is for the 70 series that have the back wheels at a different rate to the front wheels. If anyone would like a true tracker, they're going up by $1,000 in February. So get in touch with Tim at Multi-Drive, and they have we'll put some photos on Facebook. Actually, they have a really interesting sort of little family company, and they have a packet made up for the true tracker. They have to have the little molded bits of foam made, and it's quite amazing to all of us that cost $80. So for each kit, the foam moulding to pack the kit in is actually $80. So the cost of doing businesses for small businesses is astronomical. So Tim Pickford's the manager down there. He used to be the manager at ARB Geelong, and he really knows his stuff. So if he can help anyone, he'll be jumping out of his shoes to help you. We have our Christmas barbecue coming up at the Yuyangs. It's called Sunset at Big Rock, and it actually is sunset at a big granite rock on top of the Yuyangs looking west. Please come and join us. Geelong's providing the barbecue, and we ask you to bring along a salad or a dessert. And I think we've got around about 20 interested so far. So everyone's welcome. 40 minutes from the Westgate Bridge to the Yuyangs. Marcus is taking out some mountain bike people on the mountain bike trails, which are fantastic around the Yuyangs. They're pretty high level. And there are also some short half-hour, 1 hour and 2 hour walks that some of us will be doing around the granite boulders and interesting the scenery. Otherwise, bring a chair and just enjoy sitting around and chatting with everybody. In January, we'll be having an informal meeting, first Tuesday of the month. Sorry, dog's yapping. And then at that informal meeting, we'll be playing barefoot bowls and then having a meal afterwards. And everyone's welcome again. Should be a bit of fun. And in February, we will be visiting the Battery World in Geelong again. We've had quite a few people interested in that. And the guys down there are really, really generous. They give us 20% off. So we'll let you know. And everyone's welcome to come along on the night. It's a really interesting night. And yeah, 20%. Can't say no to that. Thanks, Ian.
Well done, Alison. Thank you. Okay, Tony, are you still around?
We haven't had any more questions raised, but we have had a couple of inputs from various people. Warren Spriggs has made a comment that there is now a lithium battery that's suitable for under bonnet. Don't have any further details on that, but something worth keeping in mind. But again, with all these, do your research and ask the questions. And Matt Lilly has put up a link to a site for Century Batteries, which he's used under bonnet and hasn't had any problems. And that's a deep cycle. They give you 18-month warranty, and it's an N70T Century battery. So again, it's just being in a club, asking enough people and getting the input enables you to make an informed decision as to which way you want to go. So that's all we have at this stage.
Yeah, I've heard some really good things about those N70Ts. I noticed that there was a little note there from Tony Middleditch,
yes,
addressed to me by everybody that just said my under bonnet AGM something to itself after 2 years, pulled through the inner guard and pushed through the top of the guard, heat and weight corrugations on an extended outback trip, only using lead acid wet cells now. So yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Anyway,
Dave McAllister's just put up both DCS and iTech supply and warrant lithium batteries for under bonnet. So there you go.
There's one on from
Eamon King from Libby. This is from Libby. The honour boards at Yark have not been updated since 2016. Could committee consider having them updated? Most definitely. I mean, I think they used to get done every 2 or 3 years because it's a job pulling them down and sending them away, but they most definitely need to be updated. So that's one worth noting.
All right. Maybe we can note that down and get something done about that. That's certainly didn't. Oh, and there's another one up there just popped up.
Where are we? John Mills, Tony, are you in Monument Valley? I don't recognise it being in Australia, but it is actually Monument Valley, and I have been there. Yes.
Oh, he's caught you out. He's good, isn't he, John?
Yeah, he knows his stuff. Well done. All right, that's it.
Well done. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
We'll see you a little later. All right, so the next item is Yark Management, Maintenance and Construction Weekends. Over to you, Brian. Welcome aboard.
Good evening, everyone. It's not a very good picture here because those strip lightings are just sort of coming up on the screen as a beam. And I've been moving around to try and get into the light better, but it doesn't seem to be working. So this is what we've got.
You look like Gandalf, Brian.
Sorry?
You look like Gandalf.
Yes.
With the light coming in from that movie, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Divine intervention.
Yep. All right. It's very quiet and peaceful up here at Yark. Pretty fresh this morning, as it has been the last few days. So getting prepared for the weekend coming up. Quite a few items to be done. There'll be firewood to be collected and cut, and there's quite a few of the drains under the tracks need clearing, which is sort of a fairly major item to be done. There'll be water pumped and all our regular items to be done. Probably some grass cutting as well, because we don't want it to get too much out of control. So anybody who's handy with a mower, we've got 4 or 5 mowers, so no problem with that. I've got Greg Lucas, the local contract with the Bobcat, coming in to do a little bit of repair work on a couple of items, and also working on one of the Cruisacana on the balance beam. It needs sort of the approach and exit fixed up on that since it's been moved. And as Liz was saying before, it was a great weekend, the last weekend, and I took note of how they handled the COVID situation, and we will be doing much the same. And I have appointed a COVID officer for the weekend, which when you get up here, you shall do your QR code, check in, temperature, and all of the rest of that stuff that we need to do. So and I think there's around 30 people have booked in already at my last look at it. There's still plenty of room for some of these newer members who need to get their maintenance weekend done, as long as you're double vaxxed and have your certificate. No problem. Looking forward to seeing you. So get up here and enjoy. Weather's going to be great for the weekend. Okay, thanks, Ian.
Thank you very much, Brian. And yes, I just saw somebody saying that they would see you on the weekend. David Mitchell would have said that he'd see you on the weekend. So yes, and somebody mentioned, Gabby's just mentioned the barbecue lunch will be provided. Is that right, Brian?
Yes, we were planning on having a bit of a barbecue lunch, and
okay.
And Gabby said they had a lot of sausages and stuff left over from last weekend, which he's taken home and will bring back again next weekend.
Yeah, it was a really good feed that they put on at the Mpb opening. So I'm sure you'll have heaps there too. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Okay, we'll now move on to the next item, which is social. Sandra Tanner on behalf of Angela Delala. Over to you, Sandra.
Yes, just very quickly. Angela has got some ideas in the pipeline and she'll be hot to trot starting next year. So please keep your eyes and ears open and she'll be filling you in next year on what she's got in store for everyone. I'll move on to special events, if I may. The first one is for January at Geelong next year. The date is the 21st to the 23rd of January. I would like to see or receive emails, phone calls, whatever, with offers of people to help set the site up, to be on the site and to help dismantle. Like many hands make light work, so please offer your assistance. You do get free entry, which means you can go and look around and see what's there. Geelong show is really, really good. It's they put a lot of work into it, and they will be running another one. The same company will be running another one called the Melbourne Outdoor Living Show, and that's going to be at the old Caribbean Gardens site at Scoresby. And that is on the 18th to the 20th of February. Members, we can't do it without you. We need your help. We need your assistance to set it up, take it down, work during when people are there. And I would appreciate it if you could please contact me at your very earliest convenience. We've got 4 shows next year, and we'd like to see the members take an interest and help us run it. We can't do it on our own. Thank you.
Now we'll move over to, we're going to have a new discussion from regarding four-wheel drive Vic from Eric Bishop. Congratulations, Eric, on being elected president last night. Over to you.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, it was a bit of a night, but I'll kick off first with the Mpb update. As per what you said earlier, and Liz and Brian, it was an absolutely sensational weekend. Everybody collaborated extremely well. The car effort with the storage stuff in it was quite actually, in my view, it was sensational. A few of them had some extremely good setups that I was really impressed with. And I don't think one of them there I don't think there was another spare square millimetre left that they could put something in. And I'm blown if I know how I remember what they got. But anyway, Grace Azam did an absolutely sensational job organising the food for the barbecue. And as I said, they had some left, quite a lot left over. So that went into the freezer for next weekend. So anyone going up next week will be able to finish off what we had. And of course, Ian himself and one of Grace's grandsons did the cutting of the ribbon, which is a milestone in the effort that everybody's put together for the Mpb. We have some work left to do. I think Peter and Gary are going to finish off the heater if they can find the bricks that were taken to put underneath chocks for car wheels on the weekend. get them back in there to put underneath the heater. I don't think that'll be difficult. The wall sheeting on the back of the walls and so forth is still ongoing. The fencing around the property, around the building, particularly up on above the embankments, where we've cut into the rock and so forth, that needs to still go ahead. There's some talk about driving star pickets in the ground with a couple of wire, like a wire running through them, like a farm fence in the short term before we end up doing the post and rail fence. Outside of that, pretty much everything's under control in there. Liz has got some beautiful paintings on the walls in there. I thought that was sensational. I was going to pinch one. Instead, I took a photo. How's that? So the kids' stuff went over exceptionally well. It's just too bad we didn't have a lot more kids there at the time, but those that were there really enjoyed using the building. So without any further ado, I'll get on to Four-Wheel Drive Victoria. Last night was the AGM, Four-Wheel Drive Victoria, and I was elected the new president for there. So maybe that's a direction that the organisation needs to take. It was a pretty substantial vote, by the way. But moving right along, the last e-news that came out in November is now up on the website. Laurie's put that up there. Thank you, Laurie. Track Watch, of course, has the seasonal tracks reopened and so forth. There's been some seasonal tracks that should be reopened. However, there's quite a lot of storm damage, particularly up in the Wombat area. The storm damage is slow getting cleaned up because of resources from the land managers. But there's information on the MapShare VicGov website and parks and the websites relating to where those storm damaged areas are. The Wombat, of course, has gone through a bit of a legislative change. For four-wheel driving, we have we've lost nothing in the Wombat district. What the land managers are doing is there's been a lot of illegal tracks been cut in by people to get down to the river to go fishing or swimming or whatever. So they're going to close all them off and repair the damage that's been done by others, bush bashing and mud scrambling and the like, digging up the tracks for their side of their enjoyment. Moving along, the blood donor scheme. The statistics thus far being provided to us from the hospitals is that the 50 donations of blood thus far have saved 147 lives. This program is going to go on until June next year, and it's obviously for those who don't give blood, it's probably an opportunity to go out there and experience that. You know, the old saying, you can't die not knowing. So get out there and do something for the rest of the community. Not that we don't already, we volunteer to do a hell of a lot of stuff. The final thing I want to talk about is the Gippsland Great Outdoors Show. The McAllister Club down there at Maffra Way are putting on a Great Outdoors Show on the 26th, 27th and 28th of November 2021 to be held at the Sale Racecourse. And if anyone's running any trips up there, the High Country District up the back of Hayfield or wherever, slip on down to Sale, have a look at all the stuff that's on offer down there. So it's a big four-wheel drive outdoor show. It's been put off a couple of years in the last 2 years, but it's full go now. So that's about it from me from Four-Wheel Drive Victoria and the MPB. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Eric. And what are they going to be doing about secretary now? They're going to looking for somebody for that?
Oh, yeah, they need a new secretary. And it looks like I've got 2 jobs for the short term.
Well, congratulations anyway.
Well, thank you, Ian. I appreciate that.
No problems at all. All right, so with that now, we'll move over to the webmaster, Laurie Miles. Over to you, Laurie.
Yeah, good day, Ian. busy night here behind the scenes, but everything's been running smoothly since the start. Eric Bishop asked me to just highlight the location of 4-wheel-drive Victoria News. I did briefly put it up on the screen. I'll just share my screen so that you can actually see. If you actually go to, you've got to be logged in, and if you go to TLCCV News, go down to 4-wheel-drive Victoria News, and then you'll see a flip reader of the stuff. And if you want to read through it, just double click on it, and it'll go up into large print. You can move it around and read it. All these links will eventually work. I've got them unlinked at the moment, but they will be linked tomorrow, so they do work. So there's, you've got your e-news. The other thing I just thought I'd quickly show, on the activities page, I have made some changes so that when you're looking at recent trips and activities, you used to actually just see a list of about 6 years of trips and activities, which was a long list to fill through, and it also took a long time to fill the page with the YouTube links because there's so many. So now I've broken them up in a year, so you can see this is the current year, 2021. Then you've got 2020, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. You can go back through the years, so you're going to want to go and see there. You can go to 19, 20. As you can see, it's got to start to load them. They'll start loading up, and then you'll see the pictures, and you can see some old pictures there. We have been doing videos for about 3 or 4 years, so it's quite a few of the trips have videos. They're all up on YouTube. I did notice in the minutes about the librarian asking, what could we put our videos that are on the website up on YouTube? They are already there. All these videos are on YouTube, and we just put a link on the website to that video, and so you can go through and actually have a look. That's about all from me. It's been a quiet month, and hopefully with more trips coming, that'll make my job busy again. So back to you, Ian.
Well, thank you, Laurie. Excellent. Thank you. Always good to have a little bit of information on the website, and great work that you're doing there. Thank you. Okay, so is Forge with us tonight? I'm not sure I have seen him, but you're going to talk about Cruiser Kana or the mini Cruiser Kana? That was the last minute notice, Rob.
Yeah, nothing like short notice. Yeah, yes, I'm definitely caught on the hop here. So I think Forge announced last month that we're actually trying to gauge some interest about running a mini Cruiser Kana next year, early next year. And the idea of this is basically there's a couple of ideas. One is give the members something to do, give maybe some of the newer members a bit of an introduction to Cruiser Kana. We're also looking to invite some of the people who signed up and paid to enter in Cruiser Kana 2021, but obviously we cancelled that and had to refund the money. So we're going to perhaps offer the people that signed up, if they want to come back and do a mini event. The mini event is also about, we've done some work on rules, and we've got a new scoring system. So we want to try a few of those things out and just, I guess, brush the Cruiser Kana cobwebs off a little bit. So so to be able to run it, we need some volunteers and we need some entrants. So we need people to enter. So those who have some spare time, looking for something to do, what were the dates, Laurie? I don't have them at hand.
What the
mini Cruiser Kana dates?
It's this was the Saturday, the 2nd of April. So Friday,
right.
1st, 2nd is the 2nd.
Okay, so, and it's up on the website, so people want to have a look and register their interest. At this stage, we're trying to work out, are there enough people able to give their time to help marshal and run a few entries? And once we get volunteers, we'll firm it up. But yeah, so that's the thinking behind it. So if someone's looking for something to do, it'll be a bit of fun, just one day event, self-catering, not like the big Cruiser Kana where we do a big dinner and prizes and stuff, but this is more just a bit of a fun day. Maybe you've you know, seen Cruisacana and not really keen on coming to the big event, come to them anyway, have a go. Go in one event, go in all, whatever you want to do. So sign up, please. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Rob. So I read some notes on that, and I understand that it's mainly open to the club members, but a couple of other inter-club members may also be invited as well. Okay, over to you, Tony, again. Are you there, Tony?
Yep, I'm here. Yep.
Right. Have we got any Q&As?
Just one comment which could have really gone in chat, just from Gary Cooper, congratulating Eric on his appointment as four-wheel drive Vic. So that's all, and I'll write a response back to Gary on that. And the mini Cruisacana was basically how Cruisacana started off in the early days. It was just a club fun event sort of thing. Then it's just grew and grew and grew over time. So it'd be good to see it back again, I reckon. So that's it.
Right. So have we had any items of general business from anybody?
Only Eamon King that designated his as general business, which we've already addressed.
All right. Okay. So we'll, over to the video now. And the next bit, this video is the Madigan Line Sand and Dust Tour, North Simpson Desert. And guess what? There's part 2, edited by Steve McAdams. CQ, eastbound Madigan Line, eastbound Madigan Line.
Just do whatever that comes natural. Go. Now do. Now do.
Make sure you record the next June, was it?
That was a nice ride, wasn't it? Yeah, mate, I had to stick one turn right down before then. It was from then on that I started to struggle when I was towing.
You right there, Marshall?
Oh, I'm stuck. You're beauty!
Is that another 200 doing a reverse on a June?
Hang on. Marshall, do you need the photo to come help you? Marshall, I'm going to slap you if you're stuck there. We're decorating on 200 image. Are you still hung up, are you? Yes. Are you down on the floor fan or not? No? Push your stop going. Put it in low range and try and crawl out of it. See what happens. Right. That's got me. You good, mate? Come out, over now. Roger that. Mention a couple of things and then some of the trip later.
It's everyone, mate.
You good, Mucker?
Nah, I'm stuck on top.
Oh, I'm going down.
I thought it looked easy. It was easy. Yeah.
I'm going.
He hasn't got the power. You just. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, Macca! Huge! Oh, what a feeling! Yeah, hey, look at it. That's it.
Oh, wow. So this was a crossing, was it?
I'll park the Prado recovery vehicle next to yours, Macca.
Prados don't require recovery vehicles. And have proved so quite adequately on this trip.
You were stuck bolt on the chicken track.
No recovery required, drove out myself.
Well, what a great video that was. And I was mentioning before, we'll look forward to part two, not realising part two is going to be in this meeting. I should have known, I've seen the agenda, but anyway. Look, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I noticed at one stage we're up to 70 participants, might have even got more, maybe I missed a few, but glad so many of you could join us tonight. I'm glad that we've been able to answer so many questions along the way. Tony Bryant, thank you immensely from myself and from the members, of course, for your assistance in making sure we deal with general business, etc. Anyway, with that, I'm just going to say thank you for attending, and remind you all that the next meeting at this stage will be Tuesday, the 21st of December, commencing at 7:30 p.m. At this stage, I'm pretty sure, the committee's pretty sure it's going to be a Zoom meeting, and we'll look forward to maybe in the new year seeing if we can go back to a face-to-face style meeting. Thanks, Steve McAdam, for putting those videos together for us tonight. And thank you again for all those people behind the scenes, Laurie Miles, David McAllister, Matt Lilly. Thank you all for your support and help tonight. And with that, I'm going to say good night and see you all later. Bye-bye.